Hello and welcome to our webinar. Today's topic is increased device visibility and effect change on a large scale within Config Manager. Our main focus is on RightClick tools and Endpoint Insights products. Welcome.
And here are some general housekeeping rules. We have some downloadable content within this platform. If you have any questions, you can fill those in the chat, and we have Q&A phase in the end of the webinar. We have also giveaway, so I hope you have good luck in it. In this webinar, we are having two presenters. And first, I'd like to introduce to you my colleague, Jani Eloranta. So, Jani, please, would you tell us something about yourself?
Thanks, Hannu. So, as Hannu already mentioned, my name is Jani Eloranta, and I have been working at Recast Software for a little over 3 months now as a senior DevOps architect. But most of my career I've been working with endpoints in different roles like sysadmin and solution architect. And from that area I have about 15 years of experience. And how about you, Hannu?
Yeah, thanks. So, my role is to be our partner account manager, and I'm responsible of our MSP business. And I've been working at Recast Software for 6.5 years now. So here is our agenda today. First, we're going to have just a short introduction to Recast Software. After that, product introductions and giving some short demos about RightClick tools and Endpoint Insights. Then shortly about the questions, and then giveaway. So about the company, Recast Software, it's a software company which is focused on plugin products and enhancements for endpoint management systems like Configuration Manager and Intune. Here you can see some key figures about our company, like our products are used worldwide in over 125 countries and more than 1,000 customers.
Okay, next let's have a look at our whole product suite. So on the blue color we are seeing RightClick tools, which is containing the community version, which is the free version, and the enterprise version, which is the full version containing all the features. It's helping your SCCM admins to be more efficient and maintain the compliance. And on the yellow color we are seeing Endpoint Insights. It's our tool which is helping you to enhance your SCCM native reporting capabilities. And on the violet color, shift left for ServiceNow. So it's bringing those most important tools from RightClick tools to ServiceNow user interface. So it's making your service desk more efficient. And on the light gray color, we are seeing Privilege Manager. It's a PAM product, and with that you can manage your local rights and enable those temporary elevations to admin level when needed. And last but not least is the Application Manager on the dark gray color. So it's automatizing your third-party application patching and deployments?
I think we all know that managing endpoints, it's not an easy task. Jani, you have a lot of experience in this area. Why is it so hard actually?
Well, I'd say it's a constant battle between user productivity, security, and time. So we need to keep the end users happy, and at the same time also keep the devices secure and functional. And usually we all have to do all of this within a limited amount of time that we can spend on configuring things. And at the same time we also must consider end users' productivity, for example, when we are applying updates to their devices.
Yeah, I get it. So how can our solution solve some of these problems? Let's start with visibility. What is the challenge with visibility actually, Jani?
Well, first of all, I think the lack of visibility has been the case as long as I remember. And at least in my experience, what we often do, we introduce additional tools and solutions that do actually provide us better visibility, but also in many cases we kind of create additional gaps, and that is because we cannot easily integrate the better visibility and the tools that we use to fix issues. So that might be a problem. And in some cases, we also might see kind of very different overall status when we compare the data and the tools. So that might also be confusing.
Oh yeah. And this is actually where RightClick Tools Enterprise comes to play. How does it help with these topics, Jani?
Well, in my opinion, what it does, it actually provides the better visibility and detection, and also the integrated capabilities to fix things. And I'll do some demos on this later at this webinar.
Good. One of the key aspects of endpoint security is privilege management. How do you see this topic, Jani?
Well, I think that managing permission in endpoints, it's a crucial thing. If we're having admin permissions basically means that malware in many cases has more potential to become a serious issue even on the company level. So we should always follow the principality of least privilege.
Exactly.
Yeah. And of course we might have many reasons why we haven't got rid of permanent admin permission points. And for example, we might have some roles that require the capability to make changes in the devices, usually maybe some CAT users, etc. And there might be some users that are also hesitant to give up the permissions that they have once been given. And also, in many cases, it can be also quite burdening task to manage the permissions. I also think that in many times we also kind of forget the fact that admins are also working 100% of the time using administrative permissions. So we should also kind of consider the use of admin permissions only when needed and where needed, also including functions like service desk and on-site support, etc. So that's my view.
Yeah, that's very important thing to product, the last one. Okay, our solution to help you with all these things is Privilege Manager. Separate webinar from last week should be available. And actually, the same webinar also covers our other product called Application Manager, which is our solution for third-party application updates and deployments. Jani, you have some thoughts about patching in general, do you?
Yeah, well, in my opinion, it's important to understand that when we talk about patching, it's not just about Microsoft patches or updates, but also the third-party apps.
Yeah.
And I would say that nowadays patching third-party apps is at least as important as patching Microsoft products. If we spend time investigating the missing updates in the devices, it's always a time taken away from something else. And also we should consider that the speed in which we're able to push updates to devices is crucial, especially when it comes to zero-day vulnerabilities. And also, if you kind of think that if you're lagging in the patching and combine that with possible PUM solutions that you haven't implemented, that is actually something that offers a good attack vectors for hackers to get inside your organization. And as Hannu mentioned, more about the application manager and how it can help you in these things in the other webinar. And I'll also demo software updates compliance a little bit in the RightClick tools demo later in this webinar as well.
Yeah.
And last we have the affecting change part. And I think that in the current landscape, change is kind of the new normal because the development is so fast that often the resources are tied to introduction of new features and the old is forgotten basically. And of course, being an endpoint admin means even more nowadays that you need to be able to manage multiple tools and divide your time between different systems. So Endpoint Insights provides you more detailed information about the endpoints and their content, giving you the opportunity to follow the changes in them.
Okay, and here we have some RightClick tools key features. As a previous config manager admin, I can basically vouch for these. RightClick tools did make my life a lot easier. And in the demo, I'll provide some examples how RightClick tools helps you to achieve these things.
And here we have some key features of Endpoint Insights, which is enhancing your reporting capabilities. And all of these are covered in the demo, which we will be having on the next phase. So, ladies and gentlemen, now is the moment you have been waiting for. It's time for demos. And first we cover RightClick tools, and after that, Endpoint Insights.
Okay, so let's jump into the RightClick tools demo. I'll first quickly show you the different dashboards, and then we do a bit deeper dive in a few of those. First, we're going to do some run some custom actions using Recast Builder, and then do some quick troubleshooting. So here in Config Manager console, under Asset and Compliance blade, we have Recast software, and under that we have RightClick tools, and there we can see the different dashboards that we have available. First of all, Active Directory Cleanup tool, then we have BitLocker compliance tool, Content Distribution Monitor, Hardware and Firmware Audit, Labs dashboard, and then Software Updates Deployment Status. And this is actually the one I'm going to use for the first demo. So this one will display, like it says, Software Updates Deployment Status for a specific collection. So for that, I will choose Software Updates as a collection. I'm only interested about deployed updates. I will not limit based on the software update groups and not based on dates or anything like that of the updates. I will click Start, and it should populate me data for the specific collection about how the deployed updates on that specific collections are being working. So in here we can see that device compliance state, we have 29 devices non-compliant and only 3 are compliant. And on the missing updates by category, that is something that I'm actually interested in this demo. I will click the security category. It will display me that we have both Windows 11 and Windows 10 April cumulative update missing. from some of the devices. And when I open the Windows 11 one of those, I can see that the device I'm actually using for this demo, the Win10 Demo 7 device, is listed here. So what I will next do is run some custom action or against that specific device. And for that, I will use Recast Builder. So Recast Builder is a tool you can use to build automated workflows. So on the left-hand side, we can see all the actions we have created. In the middle, we have the action open that I will use in this demo. It's called Computer Restart with Notification. And what it actually does is it is said already in the name, because it will restart the computer and send a notification in case there is a user logged in. And on the right-hand side, we have all the different actions available. So for example, the one opened here, Config Manager Client, we have different actions for that we can use basically for Configuration Manager Client. And you just, if you want to use one of these, you just drag and drop it there, and then you connect it using this link to the step you want to use it in. But for this demo, I will remove that one. So just quickly going through how this works. Each of these start with start node. Then we have in this specific action, next step is ping computer. So like it says, it will ping the computer, and in the next linking arrow here, we can see that we have a condition here. The ping needs to be successful in order for us to move forward with this workflow. So you can set conditions based on the things you do in the workflow. And the next step just collects information from the device about last restart and if there are currently logged in users into that device, So if we move to get logged in users part, in here, we actually do query about the logged in users, and if there are no logged in users, so here we use a condition that if the logged in user count equals to 0, we will immediately move to the last step, which is to simulate restart. Because this is a demo, this will not actually restart the device. It will send a toast notification saying basically that the device will restart immediately. But in case there is a user logged in, it will send another toast notification saying basically that you have 30 minutes time to save your work, etc. And after that, it will sleep for some time, some 30 seconds for just the demo purposes. So now I will get back to the console. Right-click this device I'm currently using here in the console. Choose Recast Automation and Recast Runner. So Recast Runner is used to run those builder actions that I just showed you. And from here, I choose the Computer Restart with Notification that I just showed you. And I will say that run the action immediately. So let's start that one. And during the execution of the action, we see data being populated here. We can, for example, see that the ping has been successful, which means it will move forward in the workflow. Get logged in users has been also been successful. We see that I'm currently logged into this device. So we should have a first restart node toast appear pretty soon, which just basically tells us that you have 30 minutes time to save your work. And like it says there, it has been successful. So pretty soon we should see a pop-up in the lower right-hand side corner of the screen, because this is using the default Windows notification to tell us that your computer will restart in just a short while. Okay, there it is, the first pop-up we get. Like I said, it will say that your computer will restart in 30 minutes. And next, it will start this 30-second sleep. And after that sleep has gone through, it will actually send another toast notification, which will say that the restart will occur right now. And for demo purposes, this will not actually reboot the device because I'm currently using it for this demo. So there should be a second pop-up appearing or toast appearing pretty soon that will show us that that this computer will restart in just or now, basically. Should appear pretty soon. There it is. So that was the action I wanted to show you. So I will close this one and we will move forward with the next part of the demo, which is BitLocker. So we're going to move here to BitLocker compliance tool. And here in the BitLocker compliance tool, you can use either AD or organizational unit or collection to filter the BitLocker compliance. I'm going to use a collection. So I'm going to choose here the BitLocker management collection, and I'm going to scan that one, and it's going to show me basically the recovery key storage, in which storages the devices have the recovery key, and if some devices are missing that, and also the unified compliance on the right hand side. So for example, we have 11 devices that currently have the recovery key stored in AD, MBAM, and CM as well. And you can see the list there on the lower part of the screen. But for this demo, I'm actually interested about the compliance, and especially the one device that is showing non-compliant. So I click on that, and I can see that the demo 8 machine is actually non-compliant, and it is actually also not encrypted. So let's right-click that one, because now we have a machine, or we can have multiple machines here, that have something, that there is something wrong about those devices. And we can take action immediately from the same view and go to security tools. There are a lot of different options we could do, but for this case, I will choose security tools and remote Windows security. And from here, I'm interested about BitLocker. And we can also see here that the device is not encrypted. So if I wanted to encrypt this device, I would basically just choose this one. It could be also multiple devices here listed. And under suspend here, I can also choose encrypt. I could suspend it if it was encrypted, but in this case, I would choose encrypt. And in case we had problems with the recovery keys, we could also back up those or regenerate the recovery key, for example. In this view, we also have an option to create a snapshot. So there is this little icon there. I'm going to click that one. It will open browser, and it will create us a link that we can share with other users if we want to, basically showing the status of our BitLocker. And you can also use this to browse the same way we did in the console, config manager console. So I will choose here the one device that is non-compliant, and we can see it's the same device in demo 8, basically showing as non-compliant. And this view is something that is, I think, a bit more user-friendly, especially those who haven't been using config manager. So it might be something that you could share with some users that don't know so much about config manager. And especially useful under dashboards is this trends view. So you can use this, for example, to see how your BitLocker compliance has evolved, or how your software updates are being installed over time. So this is something that might be very useful in some cases. For example, we see that the BitLocker compliance has gone down for some reason in this environment. So probably something we should check out. Okay, let's go back to config manager console, and let's do some basic troubleshooting just as a quick demo. I'm going to choose a collection here, and the basic kind of idea in this troubleshooting is that we've received information that for some reason people are not able to use remote assistance to connect to demo 7 device. And at the same time, we know that demo 8 is working fine. So let's take these 2 devices, right-click them, and go here in security tools again, and choose the remote Windows security. And this time I'm actually interested about the firewall rules, so I'm going to choose that one. Let's enlarge the window also a bit here. And then let's filter out by display name so that it's easier for me to find remote assistance here, and we can see it's there. And now if we look at these two rules here, we have this one. This rule says that in domain and private profiles, demo 7 machine actually has the remote assistant rule disabled. And at the same time, if we click a bit above the demo 8 machine, we can see that that device actually has the rule enabled. So just some basic troubleshooting using the remote Windows security and the firewall rules. Also, something that is also pretty, I would say, nice is the capability to run remote software center as one option also to display you. This is basically the same view that the user has when they use the software center on their devices. And you can also choose multiple devices for this one. So for example, if you wanted to, for some reason, install Edge on both of these devices, you can say, click on that and say install here. Or if you wanted to remove, for example, Reader from these devices, you could say the same and uninstall. There is also the software updates and task sequence, as well as compliance available here as well. So that is something that you can also run here. You can evaluate the rules as well. So that ends our RightClick Tools demo. And up next is Hannu with the Endpoint Insights demo.
Thank you, Jani. So, Endpoint Insights. This is the product that you can use to supercharge your native SCCM reporting capabilities. And in this Endpoint Insights, we are having over 200 different reports that you can be using, but I will be showing you a couple of those, which might be very handy. And first, we're going to dive into the software or the application stuff. I'm going to show you the software dashboard report over here. First, I will be selecting the collection I would like to be viewing today, and from here, let's select the next page. For some reason, I would like to view that Grammarly application, and as you can see, the structure is like this. So first you are seeing the vendor, then you are seeing the application, and under that you can see the different versions of that application. And as we can see, we have 41 devices which are having this older version, and 45 devices which are having the new version. And I'm looking at those old version containing devices over here, and we could be, of course, removing these old versions from endpoints because of some security reasons. Might be the case, or if we want to have better control on our environment and standardize the applications that are being used. Of course, that's one scenario in which we could be using this report and selecting those applications that are necessary or not necessary. Okay, so in here we can have the information of that version of Grammarly. Okay, next one. We're going to jump into hardware stuff next, and we're going to see some from the endpoint part, monitor. Okay, over here. So a lot of reports about monitors over here. As you can see, I would like to see those some facts about the monitor resolution, and again selecting the collection that I want to have. And here is the chart over here. and under here I can see those different resolutions and how many devices, how many monitors are having which kind of resolutions. So Full HD is the one that is the majority. We have some old XGA monitors also. If we are selecting that one, we can see those 11 monitors which are having that old XGA resolution. And maybe we would like to replace these ones with the newer ones with for example, Full HD or some better resolution. And if we are selecting the Full HD monitors over here, we could select one of these monitors to see some more information about this certain monitor over here. So we can see the monitor model, we can see the serial number over here. We can also see the connection cable type or the port type over here, which is being used. And we can see also, for example, the manufacture date. So this one is about 7 years old monitor. Okay. Next example. Let's look at the docking stations. So Endpoint on the computer side, and we are going to see, like you see here, we have also some information about battery health and stuff, but we are selecting count of docking station, and over here selecting again the collection. And as you can see in our demo environment, we are having only one type of docking station models. But of course, in your case, here we could see multiple types, I guess. Okay, and when this model with all the devices which are having this kind of docking station, so when we are selecting one of these devices, we can see also more information about that endpoint. So this is the all-in-one computer view. Okay, let's have another example. Let's look at the device warranty informations. And these are the reports from this topic. You could have different kind of focus on the reports, and I would like to show you this computer replacement costs report. And in here we could be filling the life cycle of different type of endpoints and also the replacement cost for them. And then I'm selecting the collection that I want to be viewing, and then getting the report here. So as we can see, for example, how many devices have 3 years remaining warranty time, and we could see how many devices have warranty expired. So in this environment or this collection, we are having only these expired ones. Okay, but yeah, you get the point. And this is calculating the replacement cost for replacing all of these 104 devices. When I'm clicking those open, so I can see the information about which devices there are these 104 devices which have a warranty expired. And of course, we could be considering that these would be replaced. But yeah, okay. Here are some examples how you can use Endpoint Insights. There are a lot of other reports as well, but we are not having enough time to show you all of those. So maybe this is a good start. And of course, you can ask some more information from us, so we can give you a demo or some other information about this product. Thank you. Okay, before we get started with the Q&A session, I have a quick poll up on the screen for you. If you will, please take a moment to respond. All right, let's get started with the Q&A. If anyone has any final questions, please feel free to add them in the Q&A chat box. For any questions we do not get to, we will follow up with you, each of you, directly. Okay, now we have time to go through a couple of questions. And first we have a question from Håkan. Håkan is asking that, what is your favorite tool in RightClick tools? So Jani, what do you say?
Well, I must say that it's probably interactive command prompt or PowerShell. That one has saved me a lot of hours when I used to do admin stuff, because you can basically troubleshoot and also fix issues using that one on the devices without actually having to interact with the end user. How about Hannu, you?
Yeah, that's a good one. Actually, I would say that my favorite is Builder, because I'm a lazy guy, so I like the idea of having stuff automated or something. Yeah.
All right. And then we have one more question from Mark. Mark is asking what kind of permissions does RightClick tools need in the endpoints? So Hannu, do you have an answer?
Yeah, of course. So if you're using the community edition, you need to have admin permissions to the devices.
So basically, the user who's using the RightClick tools needs to have admin permissions.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. But if you're using enterprise version, then we don't need any permissions, because in that case we are using a service account. So,
all right.
Okay, that's it.
If you'd like to know more about our products or ask us questions, please go to our website, recastsoftware.com.
Okay, so now it's time to end our webinar today, and of course I hope you had some valuable information and have some new ideas and thoughts, and maybe you can learn more from our website and stuff. So now it's time to thank you for participating, and have a nice rest of the day.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.